Meta Perspective Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Meta Perspective Podcast. We're your hosts, Alex,
Evan,
and the girl. This is a show where we talk about deep and interesting topics and try to get to the heart of the idea through multiple perspectives.
But if you are joining us for the first time, please give the channel a follow and the video a like. We plan to do random giveaways and things like that in the future, so it doesn't hurt to stay active.
Speaking of staying active, don't forget to jump in that chat because we want to hear what you have to say as far as future conversations, different topics, talking points, but most importantly, we want you a part of this conversation with us because Meta Perspective Podcast isn't meta
Without your perspective.
Boom. Today we have a guest with us, Joel. If you'd like to introduce yourself, give us any wild, fun facts about you.
I'm Joel. I lived in Germany for 20 years and got back about almost 4 years ago. And still working for the government. When I got back at Scott Air Base, and then about a year after that, I started working at Costco with this guy.
That's right.
We're in Germany.
Ramstein Air Force Base, the biggest base in Germany.
What is Ramstein the major city near there?
Kaiserslautern, which is like 10 minutes away.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Ramstein Village is right next to the base where I lived in the village, and it's been there forever. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I went to I did a study abroad in Bonn for like 2 weeks, and then I've been to Munich for a couple days.
Yeah, I've been to Munich. I like it.
Yeah, Munich is
One of my favorite cities. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, yeah. So we are continuing our series on spirituality. I think this is the 6th or 7th episode we've done. We've had a couple guests on. Tonight's kind of the same thing, so it'll be a little bit more loose. But overall topic tonight, we're going to kind of talk about the idea of spiritual deception. Basically, it's the concept that, you know, a lot of people are susceptible to kind of their own, you know, following their own intuitions and stuff like that. That's, you know, you can live your life that way, but it's likely that a person like that is more open to being influenced by some type of external force, some type of evil force. And if you believe that you are your own God and that you set the rules for yourself, then, you know, it kind of creates a situation where, you know, now what's truth is a lie and what's right is wrong. And it kind of sets up these things that we've been seeing in our society kind of play out as a, you know, just in our society, in our culture. And we're just going to kind of talk about aspects of that tonight and just see where it goes, really. Kind of loose.
Yeah, I mean, off the bat, I would say off the premise of, you know, somebody thinking they're their own God, or even as simple as you're kind of the center of your reality, like everything is me. To me, it kind of branches two different ways. If you're the sole center of everything in your life. And those two ways would be, like, because you're saying more easily manipulated or kind of like
Deceived.
coerced, deceived. Yeah. I would say, too, on that is you either go one route, which is you don't care what anybody thinks, which you could say would be like George Soros or some type, you know, one of these people who's like, I'm going to make $1 billion. But my goal after I hit $1 billion is now $1 trillion. Like, there's no cap. It's all about me. I'll step on everybody to make sure I get to my goal. Or you go the other route. But the other route, I would say, you're more susceptible because a part of you cares about how you're viewed. You know, so if you're like the master of your own reality, other people's depiction of you matters to you. Like how they view you and how they explain you to others matters to you. So in a lot of those situations, you're going to kind of compromise with your own beliefs when it comes to a group for you to stand out the most. So I think a lot of times, especially the people who a lot of people would say that guy's got it together. I would say they're some of the least together people because they don't have their own framework. They just kind of mimic, mirror, or adjust to others depending on the group and kind of the energy. You know, if you're with a bunch of people who see things this way and you don't really have anything, any foundation, you're just your own thing, then you're just from situation to situation. It's like, oh, I stand for this. I believe I agree with you guys. But when I listen to these people, I'll say the same stuff, but I'm never really taking it in. I'm just like, these are good points, but I'm not absorbing them in my heart because, you know, I'm not weighing them to myself. This isn't like listening to the group isn't me trying to understand what they're all saying as much as it is me trying to understand them so that I can better fit in with them, you know.
And this kind of comes to a theme that we've been talking about across the series in the past couple episodes, is that, you know, in this kind of secularized society that we find ourselves in now, you know, not to say that you have to have a Christian foundation or anything like that, but you know, it's important to have some type of moral backing outside of yourself to kind of guide you and kind of put things in perspective. When you have a lot of people that are kind of secularized into their own little worlds and their egos are kind of leading them, you know, we kind of talked about this on the last episode. A lot of people think that they are good people because they don't kill or steal, or, you know, like we have laws for that. You know, that is a moral foundation in a lot of, you know, kind of spiritual texts and things like that. But it's one thing to not be a bad person, and, you know, what does it actually mean to be good? And most people find themselves in this neutral territory where they don't consider themselves bad and they think that they're good. They don't really do anything good, but they, you know, it creates the atmosphere for them to be deceived into, you know, compromising their morals, just kind of falling into a deception of this is okay because, you know, without some spiritual foundation or moral fortitude in something outside themselves, whatever I say is right, it becomes right. Or if, you know, if I don't think that that's wrong, then it's not wrong. It's okay for me to keep doing this, or, you know.
It's like we were saying with like gossiping. You know, it's like that person will say like, I'm not a bad person. I don't do these bad things that I see everybody else doing. As a matter of fact, did you see Jacob from marketing? He was doing this, that, and this and that. I'm going to tell you what I saw him doing, the way I perceived it, because I want you to see how bad he is, the same as me, to kind of help you understand how good I am. And changing another person's view of somebody, it is manipulative. So there's a reason, like, you know, in the Bible, why gossip and talking bad about people is a bad thing. But you could sit there and say, well, I'm not a bad person. I consider myself to be a good person. I'm only talking bad about other people behind their back to other people because they're bad people, and I just want to warn them. It's kind of like you said, it's like you're more easily compromised, where your view of, you know, I don't want anybody talking bad about me. Suddenly, that doesn't apply to other people because you have rewired it to lie to yourself and say, well, I saw them doing bad things, so that justifies me, even though it was a week ago, I saw them do that. So I'm going to tell other people that they did this so that just to warn them. And in reality, it's like, do you really care to warn them, or is this you trying to make yourself look better in comparison to them by trashing them to somebody else, you know, based on how you perceived what they did? And it's kind of the same thing, you know, where you go into a group and people are just talking trash and you jump in and you say something about that person that's wild, and everybody's like, we want to hear more of what you have to say, and it's feeding, and you're like, oh, I'm part of the group. And you might not talk bad about people, but if you try to get into a group and that's what they're doing, now you're going to compromise your morals to be like, well, I'm not a bad person. I'm not doing anything bad. I'm just joining the conversation. You know, there's a lot of things where, you know, if those people were all getting together talking about you, you'd be like, these people are terrible people. But when it's you joining the conversation, you rewire it. And it's like, well, I'm just joining a conversation, or I'm warning them about this person. But if it was you, you'd be like, it was one time, it was a mistake. It was out of context what you saw. You don't need to warn people because that's not me. Well, that's how I perceived you, and that's how I'm going to sell you to everybody else. It is a bad thing to do, but it's one of those things that we've grown so accustomed to that it's kind of natural for people to just talk behind each other's back all the time.
Yeah, you can't help it sometimes.
But it's like that. But that's the example. That's the example. Where people say, "I'm not a bad person. I've never killed anybody. I don't rob people." It's like, yeah, but what is bad? You could still be a bad person, but like you're not a good person just because you don't do the craziest stuff. Like, well, I've never eaten a person, so I'm a good guy. It's like, yeah, but you hit babies. It's like, yeah, but like I don't kill them. It's like what's the level of like harm to a person that you're okay with is really what it comes down to.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess it kind of, allowing people to kind of define their own virtues or reality and kind of, that across the society. I think what we're seeing now is that you basically have a break from kind of traditional morals and understanding, and now a lot of people have adopted a way of like your truth kind of thing. Like, if you believe that that's real, then that's real to me, and that can be like disguised as a supportive good thing, but in reality it leads people to kind of fall deeper into themselves and doesn't really offer anything other than the instant gratification of being okay with your situation. Or people lie to themselves, "Oh, I'm fat, but I'm healthy because I'm beautiful." It's like,
I'm fat, but it's okay because I'm happy.
Exactly.
As long as people as long as people aren't telling me that I don't realize how unhappy I am, that I'm probably depressed, and that I'm unhealthy. As long as I don't hear that, then whatever I'm experiencing, I can say is happiness. And if I can redefine it as happiness, then I can handle it. So what is your issue with me being able to handle it? It's like, well, it's a lie. You could handle it better. There's other ways. Why am I supposed to tell you that your truth of you only have one option is that's it? Good job for setting the bar as low as you could and like barely hanging on it. It's like, instead, let's raise that bar a little bit up and do some chin-ups. Like let's push it a little bit.
Well, I think that's the idea, is that people are being deceived down a path where it doesn't help. It doesn't help them become a better person. It doesn't help their happiness and joy. It's a series of compensating for the shortcomings and hiding real truths and accepting other people's bullshit as like, oh yeah, and it's one thing to, like, if we're talking about a friend or something that you're close to, but we're talking society wide, and this is kind of the idea of the deception, is that if we all think we're nice, good people and everything's fine, then why are we all depressed and anxious and suicidal and homicidal? It's like, what has happened? There's clearly something going on.
Well, they see a lot of the negativity every day, and then they just think that's reality all the time.
Well, I think that's a huge factor too, is all the negativity everybody sees in media, online.
Yeah.
When you're oversaturated with like, oh, look at this cop beating up this person who was just beating on a lady with trying to steal her bag. Oh, I feel good because I saw him beating her, but then the cop jumped in and beat him. And it's like, the whole situation's terrible. Everything about it's terrible. Yay, there's justice, but this is all terrible. But if that's where if I see something like that and everything on there is just violence, and then I see that, I'm saying, thank goodness, at least finally I see a video where somebody did something. And it's not like, oh, this just makes me sick that somebody's so lost that they would do this to somebody else. And it makes me sick that a cop could just look at somebody as just the act they're doing and seem to respond almost like aggressive, as if it's a personal thing on them. It's like, and I get, protect the old lady. All, hands down, no arguments there. But there is a weird stigma where people see this stuff and they're like, yeah. And it's like, no, I don't want this situation to happen. That's where I stand. This shouldn't be happening. That person should be taken care of enough, by the government or something. There should be stuff set in place where this person doesn't have to settle for robbing, vulnerable old women and stealing their purses and not caring about if the law gets them and ruins their life. Like, the whole situation I look at is sad. It's like, it's sad that this lady had such a terrible day. It's sad that this guy felt like he had to do it. And it's sad that the cop beat his ass and ended the rest of his future by putting him in prison. Like, but the amount of likes and comments of like, that's what I'm talking about. This is good. It's like, there's been a shift where it's almost like people, it's almost kind of like a Coliseum thing, but like it's no longer within the borders of the Coliseum. It's free for all. We just want to see the lion take out the bad guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys think that when people see all this negative, no matter what about, could be anything that's going on right now, you think that people just, when they get mad, they give up and they just think out, it's like they're becoming fatalists, like there's no hope. But then they're not giving hope to that next person around them, or it could be their kids too, and they just gonna just give up. Do you think that's way it seems like everybody's acting like that?
Like loss of morale.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But
it's contagious.
Me, I try to be like, no, that's not how it really is. It's going to always be like that. I always try to, I know it sounds so cliche, think positive. Well, yeah, but also just like you can tell, but it's not always going to be like that. You can help it be better. You can help by, help someone, help somebody.
10 years ago, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, 10 years ago it wasn't like that.
A perfect example of what both of you guys are saying is the idea of the police and cops in general. It's like it's a self-perpetuating thing where, kind of like you were saying about the morale thing. It's like, okay, the media pushes this narrative where cops are, cops hurt this person. It's unjustified. So now you have people saying that cops are bad, where the idea of cops is they're supposed to protect you or at least serve the law and do it, and they write you tickets and all that. That's bullshit. But, it's like at the end of the day, they're supposed to be there when you need them. Yeah. But everyone now sees cops as bad. So then the cops see people as aggressors. So then they behave more bad because they don't know who's going to come up and throw a brick at them or something, who's going to get out of the car and start mouthing off, and then something happens where
they start getting on edge too.
Right. So they're on edge, the people are on edge, and it perpetuates. Yeah. The same way as somebody with bad morale on a team or something like that is bringing the team down. It self-perpetuates, and it kind of gets its own
They become
legs.
fatalists because they think there's no hope, there's nothing, and you're passing out to your friends or even their kids. But we need to see that there are good things happening. You might see cops do good things, but why don't they push that more? Why you don't see that, like helping someone with a flat tire? Cops, because I've seen cops do that.
I wonder why they don't.
I wonder why. Yeah. But or they're just doing nice things. And even just for regular people doing nice things, we always see everybody doing bad things, but you don't see as much. Because I think that we need to think that, or try to at least show that no, there's good people doing good things. There's a lot of good people doing things behind the scenes you just don't see.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people too, they just go, especially like the majority of people. I think most people are just trying to live their lives and they're not thinking about the craziness of the world. They're just trying to get by. So the majority of people are just going along with stuff. So if you hear a megaphone and all these and this guy's yelling, "This isn't fair," and everybody's surrounding him, your first thing is like, let me see what's not fair. And you're not going to weigh it on anything. You're just going to be like, well, what he's saying isn't fair. It's like if I went up and I have a megaphone, it's like, brutality against police. Police are supposed to protect us. The brutality they're putting on us, this isn't fair. It's like, well, yeah, they're supposed to protect us. You're right. They should never use authority against us. You are right. Now, my message after that and where I lead you is the key, because it's easy for me to say this isn't fair, but is it true? I don't know. All I know is it happens sometimes and it's not fair. Can we bring it to 0%? I don't know. But if I see a bunch of people rallying behind it and I'm just a normal person, more than likely I'm just going to glob on and just be like, yeah, I support it. I heard the basic message. People of power should not use it against anyone under them. Okay, that's fair. So it's easy for me to just jump into a group, not really understanding the direction it's going or what the message. I mean, you look at Nazi Germany. It didn't start with like, we're going to kill people. It started with like, hey, this isn't fair. And people are like, that's right, it's not fair. And then it led to something. But a lot of people don't stop. The majority is just going with the majority. So if you can get enough attention, then other people will just give their attention. And once you have a big enough group, everybody else just kind of falls in the line. And it's like, all right, well, this is what everybody's going with, so it must be good. So it's a dangerous game when it comes to the masses who don't really put that educated thought into what they're supporting or what they're following. And, it's like you said, it's like a lot of people becoming fatalists. If everybody is talking about, I hate people are terrible, then you don't want to seem stupid and you don't have anything to defend people with. So you're just like, yeah, I remember, because we're talking about this, I remember this guy did this to me at the store. Oh, that's stupid. Now everybody's emotional and riling me up going, yeah, it is ridiculous. It's not fair. And it's feeding this anger of like, it shouldn't be this way. And it self-perpetuates this just anger kind of turned in on itself.
Well, we see that a lot. I mean, there's the idea of groupthink or the mob. And just like you're talking about, it's a lot easier for somebody who doesn't really have much of a stance to side with the mob. It takes a lot more, moral fortitude or some type of something else that guides you to stand against the mob and say, no, this is wrong. I'm standing for my virtues and against you guys because I can see what's going on, and I'm going to make a stand. Those people get attacked. Mm-hmm. We see that with Martin Luther King. That was the whole idea. He was peacefully protesting. He wasn't out there like, kill white people because they don't like black people. He was like, you can throw bricks at me, blah blah blah. Like, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just gonna stand by my virtuous side, and it made an impact. Versus people that that could even turn and start fighting on the side. That doesn't work, and we've seen that. We've seen it. What it really takes is somebody who has something to stand behind, breaking out of the groupthink, and that's the most influential thing.
It's the education. Most situations start with, this isn't fair. So Martin Luther King starts off with, this isn't fair. And everybody goes, we agree. Now, where does it go? Does it go to, we need to fight back? We need to rise against? We need to start a war? No, but that's where a lot of people lead to. For Martin Luther King, it was, this isn't fair. And then the comeback was, I just want us to get along. I want my kids to play with your kids. I just want all of us to just love each other the way I love all of you. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay. So it's easy to get a group around this isn't fair. But what comes after that is what either educates the group, which is the like Martin Luther King is, he wasn't sitting there like telling people what they didn't know, but he was reminding them, hey, we're all people, man. Like there's bad and evil in the world, but can't we just get along as long as we're all good and our hearts say we just want a good future, a good life, and want our kids to play together and just grow up with good futures? Like, that's good. And then people stop and they go, okay, instead of like a future of let's fight and let's kill to try to get to the peace we want, instead maybe we should just all agree we should just have peace. And with Martin Luther King, it shows how all he did was speak. And he saw people attacking him, and he was like, don't retaliate. Let them attack me. Let them throw bricks. If they kill me, they kill me. I just want the message to be the message, which is love, unity, that's it. And then over time, people were like, okay, we're kind of assholes for fighting this. I can't figure out why I'm still fighting this, and this makes sense. And then they started to all come together, and it was like, all right, we're just not going to participate in what does break our hearts unknowingly. Now we see it. What we're doing to each other is breaking our hearts. We need to all love each other. I see you as a person. You see me as a person. Let's just go from there. But like, if he was like, let's start a war so we could kill off all the people who still want slavery and don't see us as equal. Let's kill them off. That way it's just us and the people who see us equally. Unfortunately, after you kill off all those people, the other people are kind of scared of you now because they're like, oh, we love you. It's the only way for things to work naturally is people come together after this isn't fair. It has to be grounded in something spiritual, which is a togetherness, something that's outside of what we understand, but deep rooted in what we know. And so I don't understand why everything going on in this country is the way it is, why we're so divided. But what I know is we should all just be unified and love each other. That's what I know. I don't understand all the stuff going on outside of it, and I don't even understand why we should all love each other and be unified outside of just it makes us stronger. But in my core, I know that that's how we're supposed to be.
Do you guys think, because I noticed this, especially in the last year, I've noticed that, especially the younger, if you could say Gen Z, if you want to say, I think a lot of people are waking up more to like to realize how they're being manipulated by the media.
Yeah.
And be like, I think there's a little bit of hope there.
It's getting a little obvious, I think.
Yeah,
right.
because I think there's like, because they feel like it's the same old thing again. It's like, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Yeah, there's a little bit of hope there.
I know. That's why I think it's things. I don't say too optimistic, but I'm more an optimist anyways. I think that people are starting to change because all across the board, across the nation, people are, I don't want to say, oh, everyone's going to the right, but I see that they say, well, man, you guys promised a lot of things. You said a lot of things that never happened for us. And you can use black people, for example, or any kind of minority, but they never fell through for it. And then they're starting to I think they're starting to wake up more now.
Yeah, it's obvious who's actively deceiving others.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're also at a point where evil is rising up to take on good. And you got to think about it like, on one hand, it doesn't make sense that if you're evil, you would start showing your hand because you're going to lose a lot of people. Unless the goal is to dramatically radicalize the people who follow you and then just use that as a weapon.
Well, it seems to be.
And I say that because it's like when you look at everything going on, it's like when we had the whole virus thing, with the lockdowns and all that. It doesn't matter where you were politically, nobody enjoyed what we went through. And then we have this whole second wave of like, oh, it's the hantavirus.
Hantavirus, yeah.
The hantavirus. Now this is trippy.
That's recent, right?
This is
that's
2 weeks ago.
This is trippy for you guys. And any viewers who might have heard this, I do want to like fact check this with some like language things, but hantavirus.
It's not Japanese.
Apparently,
right? Is it hentai? That's.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I
Take away from your
gotta
shit.
look this up, but I'm pretty sure it's valid that hunta, like the slang translation for it in one language is the something like the six-sided star, nation of the six-sided star, and leads and goes into deception, which was wild, but in another language it translates to false or lie. So it does seem like a lot of, I mean, this is me, attack me online, but it does seem like they are kind of showing their hand and being like, we really don't care. We're going to name the virus after what, like the name of the virus translated is lie, scam, deception. Fake,
This
joke.
was the cruise ship with the rats and the people and I don't know what happened to that.
I'm also getting really tired of like hearing about all these ticks everywhere. Do you remember like 6 months ago I showed you videos?
Those are real.
But no, do you remember about 6 months ago or so when I showed you videos of like these farmers finding boxes of ticks and like
Like it was planted.
all over their like multiple boxes.
I don't remember that. I don't think you showed me that.
This was like probably 6 months to a year ago.
Yeah.
I was finding multiple videos of farmers who are like, there's the 7th box that I found on my property and it has ticks in it. It's open, but there's still
crazy.
ticks in it. And they were saying that these, and I think one dude tested them and he's like, they have something.
Because of plant,
Alpha
man.
gal
It's already
trying to get people to stop eating meat.
but it's already been released that Lyme disease was a genetically modified thing, and it was put into ticks as kind of a bioweapon,
It was a bioweapon. Yeah,
and it just happened to spread right off the shore from the island that was doing this stuff.
that they named after. Yeah.
So then it spreads, and now we have ticks with Lyme disease all over the country, which is crazy considering it started in one spot.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing boxes of ticks being left around. And I saw this 6 months to a year ago, and I was like, okay, this is a biological attack. That's what this is. And now the media, everything is like, oh, watch out for ticks. They're everywhere. And I'm like, are you
push
going
that fear?
Are you going to acknowledge
fear.
the beginning of the story? Yeah. You're talking about the disease they have. About a year ago, these things were turning up all over people's properties, and they were finding that they had this disease. So it's the same. It's not a new thing. It's been around for about a year, and yet it's only now that the media is like, "Oh, there's more ticks. Be careful." Why do you think there's more ticks? You guys do more research than me. Why do you think there's more ticks?
Yeah.
Do you think it has anything to do with the unique style of ticks that people were finding left all over their property in boxes that had the exact same thing that this one does? Because you're acting like it's new. I'm saying there's records of this being around for over a year. And my concern is that it seems deliberate. And they're like, I don't know, but they're everywhere. It's like, wow, thanks, media, for really educating me.
Yeah, they love to push that fear. And you know what? Think about it. Even with the COVID thing, if you think about it, we're all battle tested already. So we're not going to be as easy. The general public, maybe you're going to get those people here. They're, get scared again. I was never afraid of it.
But maybe that's what the hantavirus was.
Yeah.
It was a test.
It was a
and,
test
and a flag,
Exactly.
and just to mess with you, to be like,
they-
how do we do this? We're gonna scare you like you're gonna have another COVID. But what do we name it after? Let's name it after a joke.
Yeah.
Just so the people who know, we're laughing in your face.
This is why I
while
think
you watch
people are
all of
waking up.
society freak out and collapse and give into this, we want you to know it's fake. Because when it comes to evil, part of the way it works is good has to go along with evil. So as long as evil's kind of telling you what they're doing, and you go, oh, I heard about this, but now I'm seeing it. Okay, well, you heard about it. You did nothing because you didn't think it was serious. Now you see it, but you're not going to do anything because you don't think it's going to change anything. It's just here. It's a blip. It'll be gone. And then it's like, oh, TSA's still around.
Well, and I agree. I think people are waking up, and
butt
I
touched.
think that kind of speaks to the whole idea of the deception. It's people are waking up to the deception. There has to be something that people are like, wait,
But is
okay,
it a wake up?
You can't tell me that how it spread, how the COVID spread, or if you could be asymptomatic and not know.
Yeah.
We can't know what strand it is, all this, but you told me that you made a vaccine and that it cures it.
But is it
so you can't tell me anything about the virus, but you can tell me that this vaccine's going to cure me?
But is it people waking up to the deception, or is it a
reaction.
deliberate line in the sand to separate us, to say these are the people who understand what's going on, and these are the ones that don't. The ones that don't will follow us, and now we can strategically see everybody that knows what's happening.
I don't think it's going to work this time again. Like, if they want to push a COVID thing, that whole thing again, 2020 again. I don't think it's going to work. I really don't. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to work.
My whole thing is if they wanted to kill people off and do all this, they could have, but they didn't. If this, I mean, the CIA finally admitted it's from a lab. Yeah. Something I was called a conspiracy theorist for 5 years. But now
we're talking about it.
Now the CIA is coming out and going, hey, listen, it's from a lab. If you think it's anything more, you're crazy. And I'm like, hold on.
It's funny how
you just said it was from a lab.
Yeah.
You said it wasn't from a lab. Now you're saying if I think it was from a lab intentionally, that's crazy. You said it wasn't even from a lab, and I said this stuff was made intentionally from a lab. What lab? The one in Wuhan, right where it started around. They're like, you're crazy. That's a conspiracy theorist.
Like John Stewart.
A guy ate a bat. Yeah. It's a Hershey.
The Center for for COVID Research, or
he's like, oh, all this chocolate overpouring in the whole area, right next to Hershey, Pennsylvania. He's like, I wonder where it came from. Probably the fucking Hershey factory. But it's like it's named after it. Everything, the COVID research. But it's like if I feel like it was a psychological just test on us, and if they wanted to just kill people off, they 100% could. It would be easy.
They got worse bioweapons than that.
They have everything. They have stuff we don't. They have microwave cannons. We can't fathom what they could really do to us if they wanted to.
Well, I mean,
but there seems to be some kind of rules at play, and that's my whole thing. Is it's while we see the COVID thing and go, oh, they tried to do that, it didn't work. What didn't work though? And then all of a sudden the hantavirus comes out, and it's like, oh, and everybody's talking about it, and it's this whole obviously kind of fake story, regardless if the hantavirus is a legitimate, serious virus, is aside from the point. It's the way it was delivered, the way it was sold. Oh, we found out that somebody on this cruise ship has the hantavirus, so we can't stop it. Well, then they had it before they got on the ship. It's already out. Why are we acting stupid and saying, oh, what do we do with the boat? Do we just leave it in the ocean? Do we blow it up? We can't let it get to shore. That they came from shore. Well, it normally goes from rats to rats, but never rats from people, but now it's mutated. You think that happened during the cruise? Like, if what you're saying is true and natural, and it's not some fucking bio thing that was created, if it's true, why am I supposed to believe that we just so happen to find out that somebody has this unique thing on the ship and got it on the ship? Like, obviously that's not what I'm supposed to assume, right? That it originated on the ship. Yet all of the media is like, no country will let them dock. It's already out. It was out before the guy got on the ship. He had it. Like, it was out. Like, and if he got it from some weird way of like, it never goes from rats to humans, well, it did to him from wherever he came from. So hopefully his roommate killed the rat. I don't know what to tell you, but obviously it didn't start on the boat, and you magically figured out how it all worked, and that it's this virus. I mean, you can have something basic and the doctors are like, we don't know. And then like 3 months later, you're getting sick and they're like, oh, yeah, tonsillitis. It's something basic. It's like there's no way you found out that this disease that you never see cross from animal to human. There's no way you figured all of this out during the cruise after he showed symptoms. Like, how long is he out? How long were they already out there? A month?
I haven't heard anything about it.
But realistically, how do you find out that somebody is sick? Give them medical attention. The people on the ship, the medical assistants on the ship, can say, I know that this is the hantavirus that has for the first time mutated from rat to human.
Oh, it's from human to human. It's normally rat to human.
Normally it's rat to human. But I have found out that this thing has mutated from rat to human to human to human. So now it's going from rats to humans. Instead of rats to rats, now it's going from rats to humans. Wow, just like COVID. Bats to humans. Like, oh, it's the same thing, only without wings. You're selling me the same story, that it's on a boat. We're focused on the boat, knowing the guy came from land. And if there is a threat, it's already out. But yet we're focused on the threats to the boat. So what do we do with it? Well, let's focus on where he came from, because the boat has nothing to do with it. My whole issue is, if COVID was meant to do anything, It's beyond our understanding, and it was meant to shape how we view certain things. And when you see the
Yes.
hantavirus come out, and then you look at all these definitions of hanta, and everything is like, it's a joke, it's deception, it's a lie. That's the definition of the virus you named. Like, it literally seems like you guys are laughing at us going, yes, these are just tests. And it's like, I don't know what any of this means. All I know is, like, COVID wasn't what they said it was. They said, get the vaccine. It'll 100% cure you. Then they come out and they're like, well, it won't. But you told me I could go hang out with grandpa if I got the vaccine, that I'm safe. So are you telling me that you misinformed through the media, spread disinformation, telling people with a deadly virus, go visit the elderly, weaker people with the virus because you have the vaccine? Oh, it didn't. I mean, it's not 100% and not even close to 100%, more like 30, if that. And you'll still get it again. And sorry about your grandpa. You shouldn't have gone to see him. I'm sorry I told you could, but you should focus on the real misinformation out there telling you what all
Or
this
Steve
is.
Wormer.
Yeah. Don't listen to the misinformation about COVID. Listen to us tell you that take this great thing and you'll be able to go see your grandparents. Oh, no, they got sick and died because you did have COVID and you got the vaccine. Well, even though people died from our misinformation, don't listen to the psychos out there telling you that what I'm saying is wrong. And then you come out with another virus that makes worldwide attention about a cruise ship and just seems like a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, there's this another virus and it's out on the ship. What do we do with it? And it's like, what's it called? It's called fake deception.
I got 2 questions about the COVID thing.
It's crazy.
During that time in 2021 when they forcing the vaccine stuff, did you ever have people say, well, if you don't take this vaccine, you're going to spread it? You know what I was saying to them? I go, well, if you got the vaccine, then you shouldn't be able to get it from me then.
Yeah.
They had no answer.
And have you? I've gotten a few of the arguments. The main
That's
argument.
the deception.
The main argument I got for that was people would tell me. I had somebody literally tell me, because I was like, why does it matter? Why do you guys want me to get the vaccine? If you got the vaccine, then you're good. So what does it matter for me? They go, well, it doesn't work unless everybody does it. And I looked and I said, so you're telling me if everybody in the world did it except for one country, we're in the same boat as if nobody did it? And that's where you get the
Or yes, does Muslims take it? Vaccines? Islamists, they don't take vaccines.
Yes.
What about them?
Religious exception.
But they're protected.
Yeah, religious exception.
Yeah.
No, you need to take it. They're protected by Allah. You
That was
you
Well,
don't have that
I mean,
kind of protection, buddy.
You also have, I think it was like Sweden or something. They didn't mandate it. They didn't force anyone to get
There was
it.
a couple.
And they had like no cases or something like that.
Yeah. I think it was Sweden.
And
yeah.
you know, this all kind of speaks to, it's not, if you take the virus out of it, if you take the death and the virus out of it, what you really have is people being manipulated into some type of dogma that they're now going to stand behind. And this kind of comes into spiritual deception and the idea of brainwashing. Mm-hmm. If you can change someone's beliefs, if you can make them believe something or alter their beliefs, then their new thoughts are going to align with that new belief. Mm-hmm. So now you've effectively changed the way that they think and the way that they act and behave and react to others. So, you know, the people that, you know, may not know that much about science or whatever, they were told all this stuff. So now they think everyone's an epidemiologist all of a sudden. Yeah. Then they're going to start hating you because you're not falling in line with what they've been told and their kind of dogmatic view of the world. And I think, you know, that's the real deception. It was turning people against each other and creating this kind of follower sect of the population that will go out and convince others to follow.
They let the fear take over.
Exactly. It's fear motivated.
It took over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're only within that fear, again, if they say take this vaccine, this is going to fix it 100%, which originally is what they came out saying.
How when you were at Costco, obviously you were at Costco at the time, when they were trying to get everyone to did they force it on you guys, or how did it at Costco?
They didn't force it on anyone.
But they were pressuring you guys, did they?
Not, I wouldn't say pressure. It was brought up, but it was more of like, we have them here. You can get it here.
I was pressured.
It was
my job.
You were pressured hard.
But I heard some jobs they force
Some
them.
jobs like
Or they'll get fired.
his job didn't force him, but they
created.
put
hoops.
the pressure and the implications like
that you would lose your job. Did they
If
say
I were to go, because I would do site visits sometimes, and I didn't go in the field all the time, but like if I was going to go with a coworker, and I wasn't vaccinated, I would have to fill out all this paperwork, get it notified by the supervisor, and send it to this and that, and it's like, it's an extra step that probably takes like an hour of
to make
my
you want to
time.
do it now?
Yeah, it's like everyone that's vaccinated. Oh, you can just rent the car and then you can go. But like, well, now you got to do all this other stuff. So they made it difficult.
Crazy.
And then my boss ended up like, I lied to him at first. I told him that I got it, and I didn't
Because
know
he
where my
was
vaccine.
asking.
Yeah, he was asking
Wait,
me.
did you guys lose friends because you didn't get vaccinated? Because I did.
I had
Because they were mad at me.
I'm pretty sure I
Yeah.
altered some friendships.
still don't talk
I
to me
didn't
to this
lose
day.
them, but it's like I've gotten arguments with people
Yeah.
because I'm an engineer. I come from a biological environmental background, and I know a shit ton about science. So I wasn't fooled, and no matter what kind of arguments I would present to somebody, it didn't matter. It was one of us, Google gobble.
either you're part of it
it's
or
like,
you're not.
It's
I mean, did you guys lose like really close friends that you're like, oh my God, you're not going to be my friend because I won't get vaccinated?
Well,
I have.
See, for
It's
me,
wild. to
For
me.
me, I
yeah,
did get a
pretty
lot of
much
people
close.
coming at me, telling me to get it, and being like, "It's the greater good, and one of us."
But how
And-
bad was it like
but
at Costco?
My response to everybody was the same thing. It was, my stance is not a political one.
Yeah.
I'm a naturalist. I was
Yeah.
like, if I'm not if I can't exist on this planet naturally, and a virus erupts to take me out, then I'm not meant to be here, and I
Yeah.
can accept that. I was like, I don't feel like I need.
You didn't live in fear of it.
No, I was
I
like,
didn't either.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of death. So I'm like,
Yeah.
if I'm going to live on this planet, it is within harmony. If the planet doesn't want me here and the virus is killing everybody off, then if I get it and it kills me off, that's what happened. Will I fight it? Will I try to stay alive? Yeah, but it's like a fight. It's like if I know that this dude wants to fight me after class, I'm not going to sneak up behind him in the lunchroom and break his leg so he can't fight. I'm going to be a man and be like, hey,
Okay.
you want to face me? I'm going to deal with the problem here. But it's the same as COVID. It's like I don't need some medical intervention to keep me alive on a planet that I've always existed on. If I need all these shots to exist here and a fucking caribou doesn't, I'm better than a caribou. I'm better than a gazelle. Like, why do none of these things need vaccines to survive?
Yeah, even fruit
But-
had
well, that's where the deception works in, because, but by the logic, if get the vaccine because of other people, because you care about other people.
Yeah.
Well, if someone wants to get the vaccine and protect themselves 100%, then they can get it. So I don't have to care about other people. If I don't get it, and people that are worried about it get it, then there's no problem, right?
Right.
If I'm sick, I'll wear a mask because I could spread it.
Yeah.
If I'm not sick, there's no reason for me to wear a mask. I don't care if I get it. Like what?
But
it's not going to kill me.
But again, with
It's
the
just like-
fear, it just gives that narrow
but
mind.
people are
so they
put
don't
the mask on.
They don't see all
Yeah.
these things you're saying right now. That makes sense. All they heard was
Yes.
you're protected, so I don't have to. I don't have to care. All they hear is you don't care about the other people who aren't, and that's it.
Right.
It's like a blanket statement of like even for me, I was like, I just choose not to get it because I want to live naturally on this planet as I am. I think it's weird to inject man-made serums into myself.
Right, I mean,
done.
did you-
But it's
just
like
to get
I don't want to take this soup of science medicine that they create in a laboratory to inject into me so that I can exist. what you're doing in the lab, in my mind, is not natural to the world. Walking up to a freaking little oasis and drinking the water, that's natural. Me having to get shots so I don't die from the germs in the air, that sounds like I shouldn't be here then. Like I'm
Right.
I am the foreign object. That's how I view things. So I would be like, hey, it's that simple. I'm looking at this from just a life perspective. And people would be like, oh, and literally me saying like, I just want to exist as I am. Like if I have to get shots to survive, then I don't want to live that way. I don't want to feel like I'm always like on death's doorstep. Like, no, I'm a human being on a planet that I've cheated death on multiple times. So like, no, I don't feel like I need this to help me live. I'm just blessed that I still am living.
Well,
But when I say that, all anybody hears is I don't care about them. And I'm like, it's like I care about you, but it's like, how do I explain to that person that you're afraid if I don't get it, that I'm a threat to you?
Yeah.
But my problem is that you basically within that frame of mind, because of the fear and that narrow frame of mind, there is not a reality where I can live my life and not get it and we still be friends. Because in any situation, you are only going to interpret it as I don't care enough about you or other people to take this serious.
What was the percentage you think at Costco and at your job? Do you think that people that got vaccinated and then to the ones that didn't? You say 80%, 90%, 70%?
yeah, probably 75% or as far as that's my perception is about 2/3 of the population. And I mean, I even had one of my coworkers, I found out afterwards, like, just did not get it. And because he was a guy that went out into the field a lot, and he somehow, like, he stood his ground. And I was like, man, I didn't know that, because if I knew that you did that, I would have done that, and I wouldn't feel like I compromised my values or something. But I mean, to get away from the actual, the virus and the vaccines and all the stuff that was pushed, what you had is a situation where people were deceived and influenced to lash out at others and to carry that psychological attack for whatever was being pushed. You had people deceived into believing it and to making it like almost like it's a religious type of backing. It's like you're killing people. That's a big deal. It's a big accusation.
Big claim. Yeah.
And that's what you felt, that there was a hate there that was artificially fed and created.
It doesn't matter what your reason is for not getting it. Your friends just hear that you don't care about human life.
Right.
And you have now kind of demonstrated that, well, I'm a human and you love me, I'm your friend, but when it comes to human life, the only thing any of us should care about, I don't. And that's all they hear. They don't hear me saying, hey, if we're going to get political with this, I'm concerned that this could affect my actual health. Because I don't get vaccines, I don't get flu shots, I don't get anything, and I don't get sick. So if I get this one because you're telling me, I'm afraid I'll have a reaction.
Yeah.
And it could actually affect me, because the flu, seasonal colds, none of that stuff affects me. Nothing affects me. COVID did affect me. I was sick as hell. Oh my God, I was out for 2 days in bed, and all I could do was get up, pee, shiver, and then sweat myself back to sleep.
Yeah.
But once it was done, And I was like, okay, it's done.
Mine was before even the lockdown. It was like in January.
Mine was in November of 2019.
2019. Speaking of November, so I was watching how WHO, they're talking about, oh, some virus is going to be bad. It's going to be, they're hyping it. But then they were talking about, well, we did a, it was called like Operation Lockdown or something, like, not Lockdown, it was called something else. I can't believe I forgot what it was called. I used to know what it's called. Anyway, it was like a dry run practice of a virus in the world.
Before it happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
They did it the year before in 2019. I was like,
I've
what
heard
are
of
they
that.
doing? Is something going on? So on Thanksgiving, with my military friends, they invited me over there, and we had on a couch like this, but a lot of people were in there. We're all sitting around talking, and The Mandalorian just came out that season. We're all sitting down. We got done watching The Mandalorian. And we're talking, and I said, we're talking about political stuff and things going crazy. And I said, and then I just spouted out. I said, hey, I don't know something, guys, but I don't know what to tell you, but something big's about to happen either this year or the beginning of next year. And I don't know how big it's going to be in like 9/11. They all looked at me like I was crazy. And 2 of them called me after the lockdown and said, how did you know that? I go, I didn't know that. I just knew something like that, but I didn't think it was going to be worldwide.
Yeah.
See,
I thought it was going to be just in the United States.
I had the same feeling too, and it's because it was before COVID. It was like, I want to say 2 years or so before COVID. I was watching the media, and I just noticed they were pushing the Zika virus. Then they were pushing another H1N1 thing or something. Then they were pushing there was like 3
Swine flu, mad cow disease.
But
flu.
no, there was
Bird flu.
There was another big one,
flu,
but
yeah.
Ebola. But no, there was like 3 or 4
Fart disease.
big
monkeypox,
big viruses, illnesses that they were talking about. And this is like I want to say like 2015. I want to say it was like 2015, maybe early 2015 whenever we could look up when they were talking about Zika virus, but it was like 3 different viruses that they were talking about. And it was like the span of 6 months. And I was like, I just watch media just to kind of see what they want me to believe. And I'm like, okay, so what you want me to believe is virus, that I'm not safe. You want me to believe that I'm not safe, that there's all these threats out there. And then it was like 2 years later, I started hearing about COVID, and I remember thinking, like, as a joke, like this is a joke. Like, really? After Zika, this, that, all these things that did nothing and just disappeared in the media and nobody ever saw or heard anything about it? Like, what happened to Zika virus? How many people do you know who got the Zika virus? But they were pushing it hard.
That was the one with the birth defects? Mosquitoes
I don't
carrying.
remember, honestly.
I know it was a mosquito
Might have
thing.
been mosquitoes,
Yeah,
I thought it was like... Yeah,
But it's like
pregnant people.
But they're pushing this stuff hard,
yeah,
and
I
then
think so.
and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, not a threat anymore. We're gonna start talking about Ebola. Now we're gonna talk about this H1N1 thing, and it was like there was so many different things they were bringing out. And I remember thinking like, wow, you guys are just all you're focused on, because the media just cycles the same stories.
They changed it to
So then all of a sudden it's nothing but viruses, and I'm like, huh, that's weird. I'm noticing the patterns you're putting down. And then they started talking about COVID, and when it was still in China, and when it was new, and they just started talking about, oh, there's this thing in China getting out. And I remember laughing like,
January.
oh, another one. And then I got sick. It was 2019, early November or late November, early December. I don't remember what it was, but it was before 2020, before it was in the States.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. I remember it was only a China thing. And then I got the sickest I've ever been. And I remember I didn't eat for 3 days. I remember like laying down and then just being out for like 2 days. And I never got sick. And the first thing that went through my head is like, I wonder if this is that COVID thing that they were talking about. And the next thing you know, once it starts hitting the States, it was like 2-3 months later, it started really blowing up. And then all the symptoms, everything everybody was saying, they're like, oh, this is what it is. And I was like, oh, 100%, that's what I got. I just got it, like, clearly it was here way before the media said it was, because I got it months ago. Now they're acting like it's a new thing here. I already recovered from it. So, like, it doesn't matter that I'm telling people, hey, I'm a naturalist.
Because
I don't get
yourself,
shots.
probably.
I don't do this stuff. And I already had it.
Yeah, you already had it.
But none of that matters when you're operating through an emotional state of fear, and you have a locked on thing of like, we have to get through this. We want life to go back to normal as soon as possible. So just get the vaccine. You're like, but I already recovered from it. I'm more afraid of the vaccine than the thing that I already fought off. Like, the bully met me after school and I won the fight. And you're telling me I still got to do cheap shots. Like, I'm afraid how that's going to come back on me if I go and get him at his house when he's asleep.
Well, the fear aspect of all this is the key, because it plays into a lot of different scenarios that it's stuff that we all experience, and it's, the whole political, the Trump derangement syndrome. It's all fear based. It's turning
all
people
fear-based.
against each other. There's so many other things. It's just, it's people being deceived. Really, it's a spiritual deception that is, through peer pressure and influence, they're trying to, kind of corral people into being more susceptible to, like the mob mentality, or going along with the status quo, and everyone that goes against it is bad. And what that does is it prevents people from standing up for what they believe in, from being the voice of reason, like kind of like a Martin Luther King, like we were talking about earlier. It's like when you have all this push and somebody says something that's true and has moral backing and you really can't disagree with, that's when real change happens, and that's what they want to snuff out. So, the deception is through all these means. It's even the way that people are portrayed. We have social media. The younger generations are just exposed to, all these like beautiful people, and at the same time, it's like they're telling you it's okay to be unhealthy and fat and accept yourself no matter what. And it's creating unhappy, depressed, anxious people that are just more susceptible to following the fear and being led down a path that destroys them. And, the only way to fight that is to stand behind something moral, something spiritual, something that has a backing that you can't touch.
Yeah.
Just the same way as Martin Luther King was standing up there like, I don't care if people throw bricks at me. This is what's right, and that's what makes the difference. They don't want that. So, to take it away from everybody and take, God out of school, and it's not even about God. It's about standing up for what's right and kind of leading other people to do the same, and it creates a better society.
But that's how it was before. I mean, that's how society was better, even when the people didn't believe God. But when they had God in school, it wasn't as crazy as it would be today.
Yeah. I mean, even racism, like we've talked about this, but like when we were in high school, it was like, the 90s, early 2000s, it wasn't a thing. We had put it behind us. We thought that was like something our parents went through.
I thought it was
and
over
now
too.
it's like come back full fledged.
But that's the worst thing, is it hasn't come back.
Yeah.
It's been redefined as something that never left. And that's the problem, is we grew up understanding what racism was, and then going, well, I'm glad we, as a country, moved past that. I was educated on Martin Luther King. I'm glad he made that difference that we see now. And I'm friends with black people. And they're like, well, you might still be racist. And I'm like, huh? We redefined it. You're actually a racist. And it's like, and that's how it kind of worked, is it's not that they brought racism back. They redefined racism as if it never left, and then started saying, well, all these things you're doing, this is micro racism, and this is this. And it's like, yeah, if you want to really hone in on something that you have no control over, yeah, you could lose your mind and blow your head off. Yeah. But if you want to be a normal person, you can look around and say, nobody is just treating anybody blatantly negative because of their skin color. That was the mid 2000s. And it's like, I don't care if somebody is internally racist, as long as they treat other races with respect.
Yeah.
It's like a racist can't do that. A racist will look at somebody and be like, I can't even pretend like I like you. I don't want to be around you. They'll straight say, I don't want to be around your kind. It's like, that's racist. But to sit there and be like, oh, I'm friends with a black person. Whoa, it's racist that you said that. It's like, what? It's like, ask my friend. He knows I don't hate him for his skin
You're
color.
white knighting right now.
Yeah. But it's like you said earlier. It is fear mongering, and when we're looking at this from a spiritual stance, almost anybody who claims to be spiritual or have any idea of the spiritual, even if it's just limited, mediocre, nothingness of knowledge, we all kind of understand spiritual is about vibes, at least, and like emotion. Like there's stuff in there that makes it spiritual. So no matter what, fear can't be a part of that, of a spiritual thing. Would you say like, oh, I'm a spiritually awakened being full of fear? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
when it comes to this stuff, it is only the spiritual, the people rooted in a true spirit that are going to sit there and say, well, the fear's not affecting me. I'm looking at this logically. If you're not applying spiritual aspects to it, then it's going to be, they said that if you don't get this, you're going to hurt people.
It's doom and gloom.
And it's just like, yeah, but you're saying this to me because you heard it on the news and that scared you and you're full of fear. Yeah, but what if it's true? Why don't you relax and think about it? Instead of just hearing something on the news and going, I'm scared, maybe stop and say, what am I scared of? Let me use my brain to think about this. Am I afraid? Am I afraid of this virus? I know people who have gotten it and they recovered fine. If you're going to argue the old people and bad and compromised immune systems, I get that. Those were the only people that should have been quarantined. If you want to talk about the proper way to do things, you take elderly people, leave them in their homes, and you don't send young people who might have COVID into those homes. You just quarantine the old people. Oh, I'm immune compromised. Quarantined. I'm 27 and I work at Kroger's. Go to work. Like, if you're not immune compromised or on your deathbed, you shouldn't have to be quarantined when the evidence shows that everybody I know my age is overcoming it. Like, there's no proof. I don't know a single person. I don't know a single person who knows anyone who passed away from COVID under 30. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it's that rare.
Weren't children mostly fine?
I don't think there
was hardly any children like
no COVID deaths from children or something crazy.
Children were like resilient anyways in general.
Yeah. But again, they don't acknowledge, they don't want to educate anybody. They just want the fear, because this spiritual part of a person will embody them, and it'll come full circle, and they'll see everything as it is. How do I stop you from seeing what's really going on? Fear.
Yeah, you see that lady
compromises the spirit.
You see that lady when she sprayed her kids with that Lysol and they turned them around and sprayed them again? It was on the news. I was like, I was overseas watching this, like, what has Americans come to now? Like,
and they were showing that in the news to be like, this is a good idea.
I was like,
these smart parents.
The kids' eyes weren't even covered. They didn't have nothing over. I don't remember seeing anything over their face. But I was like, she's spraying them on 2 of their kids, and then she turns them around and sprays them again with a Lysol. I'm like, what are you doing,
at
lady?
least put a mask on while you inhale the air.
Yeah. They're probably going to get poisoned from the Lysol.
It might already be in your lungs. Breathing heavy, son.
Well, so, I mean, I feel like you had something to say. Do you want to go back to it, or just...
No. I can't remember now.
Well, I was going to say that, I think where this is all coming to, or I see this discussion going to, is that people that have some type of moral or spiritual backing are not susceptible to the fear. They're not easily led, and you can't manipulate society like that. And I think that, idealistically, everyone thinks that our society should be improving, that we should be rising together, supporting each other. Everyone works together, and we work towards a better future. But that's not what's really going on. We're actually kind of devolving. We're getting away from that, and it's because if you take any type of spiritual backing out of reality, then people are susceptible to fear, and you're not going to have the people that stand up and as an example to others. Because when you see someone stand up, it allows you to say, "Hey, I agree with that person against this." And when you have everyone who is just falling in line or following what they've been told, it's more likely that people will be like, "Oh, well, everyone else is doing it, so yeah, I hate all this stuff that's not the mob." And then, the one person that stands up, they get shot or stoned to death, and that can influence real change. But at the same time, we're getting away from that actually being an influence. And I think that's the real deception, the real spiritual deception, is that we're all being led to a path where we're all afraid and depressed and anxious, and we have no control over life, so we just accept whatever's been given to us.
I see like your guys' age group, I guess, even the 90s, even young adults in the 90s, and obviously I was a young adult in the 90s, but I felt like we were just much tougher. We had more tougher skin. In general, maybe not everybody, but just like, I don't think if
there was accountability.
Yeah,
it was,
we would
if
not
I get
be
sick,
like-
I'm gonna overcome it. It wasn't like if I
Yeah.
get sick, it's your fault. Why didn't you get the vax? What the fuck?
I mean, I feel tougher than
Yeah,
my
but-
peers.
I thought
You know,
everybody
like-
was tough. Like we kind of had no fear, of anything in general. And it's like we
There's
had
nothing to fear but
we
fear
had that
itself.
attitude,
We
yeah.
grew up with that being like an iconic statement.
Exactly. We had God, in the Bible, it's like, God fear not.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
just
there's nothing to fear but fear itself. So
Yeah.
fear in itself is
The mind killer.
Fear is the mind killer.
Yeah, fear is the mind
awesome
killer.
poem. But it's like,
Dune.
but it, but,
That was on Dune. Yeah.
but it's like, it's a paradox. It's a hole you can't get out of. That's what fear is. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Because if you fear a situation, you can't get out of the fear of the situation. You can't see anything outside of it. You see one lane. There's 100 million lanes. Your brain is focused to see only one. There's so much information your brain will leave out to you because of what you're commanding it to do. I am in fear. What do? Well, focus on the problem so that we can try to avoid it. Well, you need to get the vax. That's the problem we need to avoid. But it all comes down to these like basic things.
Yeah.
And I mean that's what it is. It's just fear.
People in fear are susceptible to influence.
There's nothing
deception.
to fear but fear itself. And I don't think people really understand it. Like, fear is the thing to fear. So you just don't fear fear,
Yeah.
and it can't affect you. Can't be that easy. It's that easy.
It's weird how
When you-
tough guys during that time when pushing the vaccine, or just even before that, I was like, guys, it's even military guys. When I was supposed to walk that, like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought you guys were tough. I wasn't technically military. I was just working for them, DOD. And I
Well,
was
your
like,
mindset is like,
I was
these are
like,
the
what?
toughest people we have. And they're
what
like,
the hell's
"There's-
going on?
There's germs in the air. Anybody got an extra Lysol wipe? You're like, bro, you have 13
Wild,
bodies
man.
under your belt. You have shot people in the face, and you're freaking out because somebody stole your Lysol wipes, your Clorox wipes, and your gun's not clean. You just crawled through the dirt.
Well, so we're kind of getting up on. We're about an hour, a little bit over an hour here, and usually at the end we kind of like to just sum up. You kind of give final thoughts and just kind of close it out. So I'll go ahead and start. You can say something, or you probably say something next, but let us know what you guys think about what we've been saying tonight, because there's obviously something going on. I see there's a force, and in the spirituality series, we've been talking about the forces of good and evil. And you even brought up a good point that there is a resurgence. There's a backlash when society gets influenced by too much evil. Then there's a kind of an ebb and a flow where good starts to rise. And I think that ultimately people are waking up. People are seeing
I
this.
see it.
It's obviously being pushed.
It gives me hope though, because I'm seeing more and more people like not falling for anything anymore, and they're
Yeah.
gonna start waking up to the propaganda and the media, and they know that no one listens to me. Their numbers are so low. And there's people podcasts have so much views than compared to the MSNBC or CNN.
like,
At this point, I feel like the only people who truly believe, like, this other side of, like, trust the government, trust all this stuff, everything else is bad. At this point, I feel like it's just them saying it. It's like it's getting harder and harder to find people who look at everything being said and they're like, I'm still with it. Like maybe 5 years ago you were like, yeah, we need to stand up for certain people. Now it's like
The holes are starting to fall through.
it's like now I basically just have to hate like white guys because they're inherently bad or so. I don't know. This is
Yeah.
feeling weird and going a weird direction.
And you see a resurgence of Christianity and religion based kind
Don't
of
hate us.
people go looking for something else because what they're doing is they're really creating a vacuum. They're taking the spiritual nature of man and humanity out of our society, and people have been filling it with a bunch of shit. Well, eventually that's going to create some type of opposite and equal reaction where now people were starting to respond to that. And I think that gives me hope in a way. I think in a lot of ways, a lot of the societies and institutions and bubbles and little sects of society are never going to come back. There's always going to be this, the result of the deception and manipulation that's already happened. But I think, for us to get to a better place, it really takes people having an open mind and not just listening to what they're told and actually caring to go further and question what they're being told, because now everyone lives in their bubble. They see what they like, and they like what they see, so that just continues. And at some point, it's going to get so divided where the fallacies of both type of mentalities are so obvious that there's either truth or not truth, and that is the best sunlight. So I don't know where it's going to go. I think we've made a lot of progress since COVID in 2020. I think that was probably the height of it, and I hope that it gets better from here. And that's
I believe it will. I'm pretty optimistic. I think sometime maybe after 4th of July or coming up to 250th year, I think we're going to see some exciting things happen, man, coming up. We're going to see a lot of disclosure stuff. We're already seeing it now.
If it's even real, though.
Yeah, but I think we're going to see a lot of good stuff like technologies we have that I've known about for a long time just by researching. I was like, man, I know we got this stuff, and I think that's coming out with, if not this year, by next year. I could be wrong. I think there are a lot of good things. It seems like there's so much bad that's going on, but I think there's a lot of good things too, because those little bad things just block our mind because we're not really looking at the good things. And I think that's what happens to even good people. And I'm just like trying to fight real hard. And no, I really see there are going to be a lot of good things happening that we just have no idea what's about to happen. Yeah, I could say, like I said in 2019 November, and I've been saying to a few people already, I said, I think something big's about to happen that's going to just blow our minds.
Well, it's like you said,
it's going to happen that's good.
I think it's this year. I think there's going to be a little bit of bad that's going to try to fight it.
Yeah.
But I think the good's going to be so good that it's going to overwhelm the bad.
Yeah.
That's why I think something big is going to happen this year. I can't believe I was right. And I wasn't trying to be. I just had a big feeling. And
well, it's like you said, you're optimistic.
I was optimistic,
it's
yeah.
the fear that keeps your mind stuck in a place.
Yes.
So I think that's a lot of it too. Is like the more spiritual people out there, that aren't, racked by fear, they're taking everything in. So we notice the signs and see the bad that's coming, and we see the good that's coming. We're almost non-biased. We're just like, we're here and we're just seeing what's happening. I'm not letting the fear control how I see it. I see it as it is.
And it makes me sad because Americans, I always thought we were the guy. We're the Americans. We can do it. We'll make it out of this kind of attitude.
We were.
What happened to that? But see, when I lived
in 9/11, everybody had a flag in their house. Now you have half the country saying America's evil. You're like,
America
your parents
sucks.
were flying a flag after a friend of theirs died in that building. Like the audacity while you play on your iPad drinking your chai boba latte to sit there and be like, this is evil. There's evil everywhere. The country's not evil. The country's founded on amazing principles.
Yeah.
Has evil taken it over? Maybe.
Somewhat.
So let's fight the evil. Let's not sit there and be like, the country's evil. Well, that's what the evil is telling you. Where's that coming from? The media?
Yeah.
Well,
media.
Where's the media come from? The government? Why would our government allow the media to just constantly talk down on it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get more into that. but
Well, just from living overseas,
it's infuriating.
yeah, just from living overseas made me, those 20 years I lived there, I was like, it made me still love America even more. It gave me a different perspective because not that Germany was so bad, it's a socialist country, but I thought about it, man, we can do things that they can't even do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and Americans are bitching that we're in over there, like the civilians that I worked with, they're like, you're bitching about, it's like America sucks and this attitude. Like, it's like, we got it more made than pretty much any country in this planet.
Yeah.
We have our problems, but we're the best house in the neighborhood, in a bad neighborhood. And that's the way I see it. That's
I
why
like that.
Yeah,
We're the
appreciate
best
it.
house
Yeah.
in-
You got to
in the-
appreciate that.
in the worst neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
like that.
think America, I'm not giving up on America because I still love it. If America falls, the world's
America's
probably going to fall.
ours. America's ours.
Yes.
So we define what it is. If America's great, we make it great.
Yeah, I'm not
if
going to give up on
if
America.
people say America's evil, then you must be a bad person because you're an American. If you
Yeah.
see America as, I see America as great, and I try to be a great American. If you see America as this horrible, evil thing, then you're a part of it. Because I don't
something about it.
I don't see evil America. I see great America with evil people in it
Yeah,
that I want out of my great country.
exactly.
Trying to bring us down.
This country, I know we're going to make it. I think we're the best country on the planet. No one's topped us in everything we can do. And I think people that want to say America sucks and all this stuff, I was like, well, then I hate to say this, man, leave. If it's that bad, you hate this country, then leave.
You have
Yeah.
the option. There's a
If
lot
you
of
want to know what
others.
it's like to live in other countries, not Germany wasn't real bad, but it's not that, not as good as us.
To quote the great Kenny Powers, I think America's the best country and all the other countries aren't as good. It used to be called patriotism.
Yeah, I heard of that before. Yeah, I'm not going to give up. I think we got better. I think better days are coming. I feel it, man. I've been feeling it for the last year, especially from January on, because I don't know. There's so much things to talk about.
Hell
but
yeah, man.
Yeah, there's things I kind of seen and been researching lately. Like, oh my God, is that really going to happen? Because that would make sense. And it sounds like too good to be true kind of thing, but sometimes too good to be true things can't happen. Do happen.
Well, that's the spirit. You got your gut and you feel what's coming.
Yeah.
And I guess for my closing, along with what you're saying, people can only support shit for so long before some starts stripping on them and they just let go. It's like once you get hit with it, you're like, oh, this is shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't stand for anything. This goes against. I'm a hypocrite to support this because when it comes back on me, I don't like it.
Yeah, a house of shit falls pretty easily.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of what people are supporting is, and a lot of what people in this country support is so hypocritical to the point where if something even close to what they're supporting happened to them, they'd be against it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's for other people, they support it. It's again, it's the fear of saying it's for a good thing. It's like, but what if it happens to you and it's bad? Well, I don't like that. Well, it goes both. Everything goes both ways. So if you're going to support it here, you have to support it when it happens to you.
There's a logic bomb ticking.
And I think for my closing for anybody out there, I mean, my main thing would just be, you don't just take the fear. Try to understand what it is that you should be afraid of. Like with COVID, I clearly understood what I should be afraid of, and I was like, but I'm not. Like I educated myself, and I was like, all right, I see the numbers, I see what this is, I see this. I'm not worried for myself. And everybody's screaming, well, you need to get it for other people. Well, that doesn't make sense to me.
We're rebels.
Because if I have to get it for you and you already got it, then what did you get? Like literally that's how I went through all of COVID. It's like if you can convince me, I'll do it. But it's like this is how I am. If you're freaking out, all in fear, saying I need to get it to help you, but didn't you get it? Yeah, but it doesn't work unless you get it. So then what did you get? Well, I got a promise and
like
that
that-
I'm pretty sure of.
If a tsunami's coming, everybody hold up a piece of wood and we'll all stop it. It's like, no. Doesn't matter if you hold up the wood or not, it's still gonna come through. And Still gonna sweep people away.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go up on the mountain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to high ground. You guys can do what you think will work. I'll do what I think will work.
We've been battle
And
tested.
most people are probably gonna follow me because high ground just makes sense. But all of you who are in fear are just gonna look at it and be like, "There's a storm. If we brace it, I'll see you in the next life." Good luck.
Well, guys, thanks for watching tonight. Let us know what you think in the comments. Join us every Wednesday for a live show. Join the conversation. And
Until next time, Meta Perspective out.
Meta Perspective Podcast.